So here's a quick update on my welding table, my first build, major build if you will. As you can see, it's all painted up, got some scratches on it already. Got the wheels on. I think maybe I covered all that in the last video, I'm not sure. My plan was basically to get a 1/2-inch steel plate to put on top, be I think 4 foot long by maybe 2.5 foot wide, 6 inches overhang. 6 inches overhang on each side. So shopped around, basically $225, something like that. So that amount really wasn't in my budget at the time. So just kept looking on Craigslist and waiting a little bit and saving up a couple months and pick up that plate. Found a couple on Craigslist that were close, but you know, typically it was larger than I needed, or a funky shape that whatever, and I would have to cut it or something like that. And I don't have anything to cut it, so kept looking and just waiting. And I was using this basically. It's 3/16 plate on top, just for welding. Obviously not the biggest plate, but it worked for the little stuff I was doing for practice. So funny thing happened. Popped on Craigslist one day and had a guy wanted 3/4 inch plate. Steel plate, 3/4 inch, $125. He was moving, emailed him and said, hey, it's a great price, I know, but can you do 85? He said, absolutely. Went and got the plate. Fantastic plate. He said, oh, by the way, I've got the frame for it, the guy that had it before me. Do you want that as well? I said, absolutely. So $85, 3/4 inch, 4x4 steel plate. And the frame, casters, everything. It's not welded. The top's not welded on top or anything, but I'll do that. But so I'm like, just a deal I couldn't pass up. So then led me to what am I going to do with that table, and got a little bit of an emotional attachment to it because it's my first table, first kind of quote unquote big project. So that I'm going to turn into a drill press table. Got a new to me drill press. Neighbor gave me a really good deal on that, and so I'm going to put basically this plywood that came on that frame. The guy I bought this from took the steel plate off, put that wood plate on, and that was like on some other smaller table. Anyways, so I'm going to use that, cut it down to size, put it on top of this plate for a drill press and grinder stand. I like that grinder stand too, but it's a little wobbly. But I can free up room if I have both of those things on there. It's on wheels, I can move it around, I can nest it right there. Whatever I want to do. So I am going to now, the first time ever, drill some holes and put some threads in there. Tap some holes. Got some taps here, so that'll be the first time ever. That I will record. And that'll be the completion of this welding table. So this will be the first time I've ever tapped a hole, some threads. Let's give it a shot. I'm just do a little center punch here. Cutting fluid. This is, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. Tap magic. No idea if it's any good or not, but it's been working for me. So the tap I'm going to use, basically it's a I think a 3/8 -16 as far as the thread count. I'm a little concerned that this is not the right one, but I put the bowl I want to use into a die, and it seemed to drill in there nicely, or screw in there nicely. So I'm gonna wing it and hopefully it works. I printed out a chart online. It basically said to drill a 5/16 hole and then tap it. So we'll see how it goes. Not sure if I should use a smaller one or not. I've heard both sides, so I'm just gonna start with the 5/16. Alright, so I got my piece of wood cut for the tabletop here, the welding table, the old welding table, which is going to be a drill press table, excuse me. So I got so excited with the wanting to drill and tap some holes. So yeah, now I've got holes there with no way really of easily figuring out how to drill the holes to match them up. So of course you can measure, you can see I got a line there and a line there, match them up, crosshatch. There you go, now I got a little spot. So the other thing I'll mention is I wanted this style bolt. It's called a flat Phillips. Wanted this style bolt, but I drilled and tapped a 3/8 inch threads in there. And of course Home Depot, Lowe's, I know Home Depot doesn't have this style bolt larger than a 1/4 inch. So of course I had to order them online. Can't just get a couple, you got to get a bag of 25. Most reasonable seemed to be from Albany County Fasteners. Came really quick through Amazon. Bag of 25 though. So the reason why I want to use these bolts is so I can basically countersink them where they're flush into the wood there and not use a regular bolt. I'm going to spare you the drilling of the holes for now. I'm sure you know how to drill a hole, so I'll spare that and I'll drill this one. See if I can get her to line up. I'm not actually, I'm going to borrow a kind of a countersink drill. I tried using this step drill on it and it kind of worked, but I think it took a little bit too much meat out of the hole. I don't know if you can really tell. But yeah, basically it's kind of a cone shape as you might imagine from the step drill. So anyways, I'm going to get a countersink drill, use that. So basically I got my first screw in. I'm just going to leave it real loose and then go from there and try to get the other 4. Once I get one more, then it's obviously going to be locked in for good. So alright, it did actually surprisingly well with the holes. Everything lines up. I got to wiggle it a little bit, but for that hole I had to kind of auger it out a little bit. So 3 out of 4 isn't bad. Not the best with the tape measure, and it was really hard with the round edges of the table and the square edges of the wood just to measure it all out and mark it. But so I'll go ahead and just get the screws in for tonight and then borrow my neighbor's little countersink drill. And then that thing can go on top of this thing. Oh yeah, there she is. A little tall for my liking. Probably actually good for working, but with this garage and how everything configured and thrown in here, maybe a little on the tall side, but we're gonna work with it like that. So again, gonna try to put my grinder on one side, maybe a vise on the other. Also plan for a vise on this table as well. So not sure if I want to put that in the middle like it sits, or move it to one side or the other. I'm thinking the middle, so give me a little bit of workspace. So there we go. I'll show you what those look like countersunk, and then we're all done. Alright, final update on my old quote-unquote welding table. Got the drill press bolted on there, I got my grinder, the tungsten and whatever, bolted on there, bolted down. So yeah, a little taller than I like, but it's obviously at a good working level, and it's really nice on the wheels, and you can kind of move it around. So just shove it back up in that area when I'm not using it, and there you go.